The hidden downside of daytime naps after 70, why your rest might be sabotaging your health. It's a familiar scene, the comfortable armchair, the gentle drift into a daytime doze. For many, a quick nap feels like a harmless, even necessary reprieve. But what if, especially after the age of 70, that seemingly innocent little rest is quietly beginning to sabotage your health, mood, and even your memory? It's a startling thought, yet a growing body of understanding suggests that for older adults, the habit of daytime napping can create a cascade of unwelcome consequences. This isn't about inducing guilt for seeking a break. Instead, it's an exploration into the intricate changes our bodies undergo as we age, what genuine rest truly requires, and how we can protect the sanctity of our nighttime sleep, the period when our body undertakes its most profound healing and restoration. If you found yourself wrestling with sleep problems, daytime confusion, or a persistent feeling of being off, the following insights may connect the dots. Some might surprise you, others may confirm a suspicion you've long held. By the end, you'll have greater clarity and, hopefully, a pathway to better sleep and enhanced vitality. The core argument, why daytime napping after 70 can be a detriment. The central message is this: while occasional, very short naps might not be problematic for everyone, habitual or lengthy daytime sleeping after 70 can significantly disrupt the body's natural sleep-wake cycle, leading to poorer nighttime sleep quality and a host of related health issues. This is crucial because as we age, our sleep architecture naturally becomes more fragile. Maintaining a robust, consolidated nighttime sleep pattern is paramount for cognitive function, emotional regulation, physical repair, and overall well-being. Disrupting this delicate balance with daytime sleep can inadvertently do more harm than good. The implications: more than just a bad night's sleep. The consequences extend beyond simply feeling tired. Chronic disruption of nighttime sleep can contribute to increased risk of falls due to grogginess or poor balance, cognitive decline and memory problems, mood disturbances including depression and anxiety, weakened immune function, exacerbation of chronic health conditions like hypertension and diabetes, reduced overall quality of life and independence. Let's delve into 7 key reasons why that daytime doze might be a wolf in sheep's clothing. Reason 1, fragmented nighttime sleep, the shattered rhythm. One of the most immediate and evident problems with daytime sleeping after 70 is its direct assault on your body's natural rhythm. Napping too long, too late, or too often confuses your internal clock, the circadian rhythm. This sophisticated biological pacemaker is responsible for signaling your body when to wind down, release melatonin, the sleep hormone, and transition into deep, restorative sleep stages. However, if you introduce significant sleep during daylight hours, especially in the afternoon, that crucial signal becomes weak or misaligned. The result? You might find yourself tossing and turning at night, waking up multiple times, or rising far too early without feeling genuinely rested. It's not that naps are inherently villainous, it's their timing, duration, and frequency in the context of an aging sleep system. Our sleep naturally loses some of its depth and structural integrity as we age. Breaking that already fragile cycle with even a 30-minute nap at an inopportune moment can derail the entire night. Think of nighttime sleep as your brain's essential maintenance cycle, flushing metabolic byproducts, consolidating memories, balancing hormones. None of this critical work happens effectively if your body doesn't achieve and sustain the deeper stages of sleep. This is why a restless night feels considerably more damaging in your 70s than it might have in your 40s. Consider Leonard, a spry 78-year-old who swore by his afternoon naps. He cherished them until he began waking bolt upright at 2 a.m. every morning, his mind racing, sleep an elusive dream. It wasn't until he reluctantly agreed to skip his daytime naps for a full week that he noticed a profound shift. He began sleeping longer and more deeply. This single change didn't just boost his energy. His focus sharpened, his digestion improved, and even his blood pressure readings showed improvement. If your nighttime sleep feels chronically broken and you find yourself increasingly dependent on naps, it's a strong indicator that daytime rest is indeed doing more harm than good. Reason 2. Reduced sleep drive at night, the diminished urge. As we journey through our later years, the body naturally produces less of the hormones that facilitate deep, sustained sleep, such as melatonin and growth hormone. This physiological shift makes it even more critical to cultivate a strong sleep drive during the day. Sleep drive, or homeostatic sleep pressure, is akin to a biological hunger for sleep that builds progressively the longer you're awake. When this pressure reaches a sufficient threshold, your body craves sleep, helping you fall asleep quickly and stay asleep. But the moment you nap during the day, especially for more than a brief 20 to 30 minutes, you prematurely release some of that vital sleep pressure. You might feel refreshed for an hour or two, certainly, but then as bedtime approaches, you're simply not tired enough. You lie in bed, eyes wide open, wondering why your body isn't cooperating. This isn't mere conjecture. It's rooted in neuroscience. Studies from renowned sleep centers in California and Germany have consistently shown that older adults who avoid napping or limit naps to very short durations report better sleep efficiency, fewer nighttime awakenings, and stronger feelings of morning restfulness. Imagine it like your appetite for dinner. If you snack heavily throughout the afternoon, you won't feel truly hungry for a full, nourishing meal. Sleep operates on a similar principle. If you're resting significantly during the day, your brain doesn't perceive the urgent need to dive deep into restorative sleep at night. Barbara, an 81-year-old woman, was bright and active but perpetually complained about waking at 4 a.m., unable to return to sleep. After just 1 week of consciously eliminating her afternoon naps and adhering to a consistent wake time, she shared with a sense of rediscovered joy, "I feel like I finally know what real sleep feels like again." This exemplifies the power of allowing sleep pressure to build naturally. It's not about stubbornly resisting rest. It's about reclaiming the quality of your sleep. Reason 3, disrupted circadian rhythm, the unsettled clock. When we're younger, our internal clocks, those intricate circadian rhythms, are robust and resilient. They can often bounce back with relative ease from an occasional late night or an unplanned nap. However, after 70, this internal rhythm becomes more fragile, more susceptible to being thrown off balance. And one of the most common culprits? Daytime sleep. Even a seemingly short nap in the afternoon can send confusing signals to your body. As evening approaches and it gets darker, your brain may not release an adequate surge of melatonin because it perceives from the earlier nap that it's already had a period of rest. Suddenly, bedtime rolls around and your entire system is out of sync. You might notice this disruption subtly at first, falling asleep just a little later each night, waking up feeling groggier, or finding an increasing need for naps to compensate for poor nighttime sleep, thus perpetuating a detrimental cycle. This isn't merely an inconvenience, it's potentially harmful. A chronically disrupted circadian rhythm has been linked in research to an increased risk of cognitive decline, metabolic issues like insulin resistance, and even cardiovascular strain. It's like trying to run a complex railway system on a schedule that keeps changing erratically. Eventually, derailment is inevitable. Paul, a 77-year-old retired teacher, shared how his afternoon naps, once the highlight of his day, began to steal the night from him. By consciously shifting his routine, embracing more daylight exposure in the morning and staying physically active in the afternoon instead of dozing, he reported getting back not just his sleep, but also his focus, energy, and a profound sense of peace of mind. Sometimes, the simplest adjustments yield the most significant returns. Reason 4, increased risk of nighttime insomnia, the unwanted vigil. When you succumb to sleep during the day, your body interprets this as a sign that it doesn't require as much restorative rest at night. So even though your mind might crave the solace of sleep when you lie down at bedtime, your body, having partially discharged its sleep need, doesn't cooperate. What begins as a short, seemingly harmless nap can progressively lead to hours of tossing, turning, and frustration after dark. Over time, this disconnect between mind and body can solidify into a pattern of chronic insomnia. Insomnia after 70 isn't just about inconvenience. It carries tangible costs: memory impairment, heightened irritability, a weakened immune system, and even an increased risk of falls due to persistent grogginess. Sleep is no longer just a period of rest. It's your body's critical repair and rejuvenation cycle. If you're frequently dozing off while the sun is up, you're actively disrupting the very mechanism designed to keep you sharp, steady, and safe through your later years. There's also a significant psychological component. When you can't sleep at night, lying awake staring at the ceiling, your mind often starts to race. Anxieties about the next day, your health, or the passage of time can surface and intensify. This kind of internal restlessness can quietly and insidiously wear you down. Nancy, 74, told me she used to savor a cup of tea and a nap every afternoon. But as those naps began to stretch to an hour or more, her nights became increasingly restless. She tried a plethora of remedies, from herbal concoctions to prescribed sleep aids, but nothing provided lasting relief till she made the difficult decision to give up her cherished naps. Within weeks, her nights returned to a state of peaceful normalcy, and consequently, so did her days. Reason 5. Disruption of digestive and metabolic balance, the internal slowdown. An often overlooked consequence of daytime napping after 70 is its interference with your digestive and metabolic rhythms. Your digestive system, much like your sleep-wake cycle, operates optimally when it can anticipate a regular schedule, meals at consistent times, periods of activity to stimulate metabolism, and rest that aligns with your overarching circadian rhythm. When you nap shortly after a meal, particularly lunch, or fall asleep mid-afternoon, you can inadvertently slow down critical bodily processes. Digestion becomes more sluggish, nutrient absorption may be less efficient, and even your body's ability to manage blood sugar can be impaired. This can manifest as feeling bloated more often, noticing unexplained weight gain, or even seeing an unwelcome creep in your cholesterol or blood pressure readings at your next doctor's visit. Your body, confused by the untimely rest, may shift towards hoarding calories instead of efficiently burning them, misinterpreting the nap as a signal for energy conservation. Over time, this metabolic sluggishness doesn't just feel uncomfortable. It can open the door to or exacerbate chronic conditions such as type 2 diabetes and heart disease. There's a psychological loop that can entangle here too. If your default response after eating is to lie down and drift off, it becomes harder to distinguish between genuine physical tiredness and emotional avoidance. Are you truly sleepy or perhaps lonely? Are you resting or are you bored? These distinctions can blur, and before you know it, sleep might be used to fill spaces in your day that were meant for movement, connection, and active engagement. One gentleman I spoke with, Thomas, now 78, shared that his post-lunch naps consistently left him feeling sluggish and irritable, often more tired than before he lay down. After he replaced his nap with a short, leisurely walk, not only did his digestion improve noticeably, but he also felt mentally clearer and more alert for the rest of the afternoon. As a bonus, he no longer needed antacids as frequently and found he was sleeping better at night. Sleeping during the day might feel like an innocent indulgence, but after 70, your body is far more sensitive to these internal rhythms. Protecting your daytime wakefulness is a proactive way to safeguard your long-term physical and emotional stability. Reason 6, emotional blunting and decreased resilience. The muting of life's colors. As we age, our emotional world, how we respond to stress, how we process joy, how we maintain hope, especially when facing loss, takes on even greater importance. However, habitual daytime sleeping, especially when it becomes an ingrained daily pattern, can have a subtle yet profound effect on dulling these emotional edges. It can flatten your emotional range, leading to a feeling of being less engaged, less excited, and less motivated. You might not even realize it's happening at first, only sensing that life feels a little more muted, a little more distant. This occurs in part because daytime sleep can fragment your natural hormonal rhythms, including the carefully orchestrated release of neurotransmitters essential for processing emotion, such as serotonin and dopamine. Instead of riding the natural wave of your body's energy highs and lows throughout the day, you're prematurely cutting those arcs short. This makes it harder to build emotional momentum, recover effectively from setbacks, or even feel truly alive and joyful in uplifting moments. There's also the issue of mental flexibility. When you're well rested from a solid night's sleep and fully awake during the day, your brain has the cognitive space to think creatively, solve problems effectively, and adapt to unexpected events. But when daytime naps become a routine escape, your capacity to mentally shift gears, to stay sharp, and to remain emotionally resilient can slowly diminish. This isn't just a theoretical concern. It plays out in real lives. Take Evelyn, 82, who began napping daily after her husband passed away. What started as a way to pass the long, quiet hours soon morphed into a pattern of avoidance. Her daughter eventually noticed that Evelyn was less responsive in conversations, less interested in her former hobbies, and generally seemed withdrawn. It was only when Evelyn, with her daughter's gentle encouragement, replaced her afternoon nap with a daily check-in call with a friend and a simple hobby she could do near a window, that her mood began to lift. She described it as feeling like she was coming back to herself. If you aspire to stay emotionally present, responsive to joy, adaptable to change, and resilient in the face of life's inevitable pains, then preserving your wakefulness and engagement during daylight hours truly matters. This isn't about forcing yourself to stay awake merely for the sake of it. It's about protecting your emotional vibrancy so that the later chapters of your life remain full of richness, purpose, and connection. Reason 7, the weakening of your natural sleep drive, undermining nature's plan. As previously touched upon, reason 2, the body possesses a finely tuned internal clock, the circadian rhythm, which dictates when you feel alert and when sleepiness should naturally set in. After 70, this rhythm can become more fragile. When you nap during the day, you effectively blunt your natural sleep pressure, also known as the homeostatic sleep drive. This is the crucial biological need for sleep that accumulates throughout your waking hours, acting as a powerful internal cue that helps you fall asleep quickly and deeply at night. Daytime sleep interrupts this essential buildup. It's analogous to having a substantial snack in the middle of the afternoon when you're trying to build an appetite for a special dinner. You arrive at bedtime, but your physiological hunger for sleep is diminished. You're just not hungry enough to rest deeply and effectively. This detrimental effect isn't usually immediate. It often creeps up slowly. You might start noticing that you wake up more frequently during the night, or you can't fall asleep as readily as you once did, or your sleep feels shallow and unrefreshing. What's the common yet counterproductive response? You nap again during the day to try and make up for the perceived sleep deficit. And just like that, you're ensnared in a cycle that only serves to worsen your overall sleep quality in the long run. Once this cycle gains momentum, it becomes progressively harder to break. Even if you make a concerted effort to stop napping, you may already be contending with the established pattern of fragmented nighttime sleep. But here's the encouraging news. Many older adults who successfully reduce or eliminate their daytime napping report significant improvements in their nighttime sleep within just a few weeks. The key is to actively engage your body and mind during the day. Seek out natural light, especially in the morning. Incorporate some form of light but consistent physical activity into your routine, and maintain active social connections. These activities help reinforce the sense of daytime wakefulness that your brain needs to build genuine, robust sleep pressure for the night ahead. When you protect your natural sleep drive, you're not just improving your sleep, you're safeguarding your alertness, mood, and cognitive health. You're providing your body with a compelling reason to rest fully and restoratively at night, enabling you to rise with renewed energy in the morning. At this stage of life, the quality of your sleep often matters even more than the sheer quantity, and that quality begins with how you consciously spend your daytime hours. A note on nuance. Are all naps bad after 70? It's important to introduce a degree of nuance. While the general advice for older adults struggling with nighttime sleep is to avoid daytime naps, there might be very specific, limited exceptions. For instance, the power nap, a very short nap of 10 to 20 minutes taken earlier in the day, e.g. before 2 p.m., might not significantly disrupt nighttime sleep for some individuals and could potentially provide a brief cognitive boost if absolutely needed due to an unusually poor night's sleep, e.g. due to illness or external disturbance. Illness or recovery. During acute illness or recovery from a medical procedure, the body's need for rest increases, and napping might be temporarily necessary. However, for those over 70 experiencing chronic sleep difficulties, these exceptions should be approached with extreme caution and ideally discussed with a healthcare professional. The risk of falling back into a detrimental napping cycle is high. The emphasis remains on prioritizing consolidated nighttime sleep. Practical alternatives and solutions, reclaiming your days and nights. If you're recognizing yourself in these descriptions, the good news is that change is possible. Here are some actionable steps. 1. Gradually reduce nap duration and frequency. If you nap daily, don't try to stop cold turkey. Shorten your naps by 15 minutes each day or two, or skip one nap every few days until you've eliminated them or reduced them to a very brief, occasional occurrence. 2. Boost daytime activity and engagement. Morning sunlight. Exposure to natural light, especially in the morning, helps set your circadian rhythm. Try a short walk or sit by a sunny window. Oh, stay active. Gentle exercise like walking, gardening, tai chi, or water aerobics can improve sleep. Avoid vigorous exercise close to bedtime. Engage your mind. Hobbies, puzzles, reading, learning something new, or social interaction can keep you alert and reduce the urge to nap out of boredom. Strategic scheduling. Plan engaging activities for the times you usually feel sleepy. Optimize your sleep hygiene for nighttime. Oh, consistent sleep schedule. Go to bed and wake up around the same time every day, even on weekends. Create a relaxing bedtime routine. A warm bath, reading, listening to calming music, or gentle stretching can signal to your body that it's time to wind down. Comfortable sleep environment. Ensure your bedroom is dark, quiet, cool, and comfortable. Oh, limit liquids before bed. Reduce the chances of nighttime awakenings for bathroom trips. Avoid stimulants. Limit caffeine and alcohol, especially in the evening. Bar 4. Address underlying issues. Sometimes daytime sleepiness is a symptom of an undiagnosed medical condition like sleep apnea, restless leg syndrome, or side effects of medication. Consult your doctor if sleep problems persist. Final thoughts. Resting smarter, aging vibrantly. A nap can indeed feel like a treat, a little pause in the whirlwind of the day, and for many at different stages of life, it can be harmless or even beneficial. But once you're past 70, what feels like an innocent comfort can quietly, insidiously chip away at the quality of your nights, your daytime energy, and even your brain's clarity. We're not advocating for a life devoid of rest. Your body absolutely still needs pauses, moments of quietude and recovery. However, there's a profound difference between intentional restorative rest and unconscious withdrawal driven by poor nighttime sleep or lack of daytime engagement. If you found yourself nodding in recognition through this list, please know you're not alone. Many older adults inadvertently fall into these napping patterns without fully realizing how significantly it can affect their vitality, memory, and overall sense of daily purpose. The goal here isn't to instill a fear of resting, it's to empower you to rest smarter. It's about using your day to fuel your night, recognizing that every hour you stay meaningfully engaged during daylight is like depositing currency into your sleep bank for a full, satisfying, and restorative withdrawal after dark. That kind of intentional shift doesn't just help you sleep better. It fundamentally changes how you age, allowing for more vibrancy, clarity, and joy. How did this resonate with you? Was there one reason that particularly surprised you? Or perhaps you recognized a pattern in your own life or in someone close to you? That moment of recognition, that quiet, that's me, is often the very beginning of real positive transformation. And please remember, it's never too late to adjust your course, even in your 70s, 80s, or beyond. Thank you for joining us in exploring this important topic. We'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today or a strategy you plan to try. Your insights and experiences are valuable to us and to others in this community. Reading your comments provides great motivation and encouragement for us to continue creating informative and inspiring content. If you enjoyed this article and found it helpful, please consider liking, subscribing, if applicable to the platform, and sharing it with others who might benefit. Your support helps us reach and assist more people.